Doom, 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 doom. I don't want to set the world on fire. Yes, Rohit Raju here with my melodious voice. Just got done watching Fallout Season 2 and Episode 8. It was the season finale, and I have to say I really enjoyed this show. I may have enjoyed Season 2 more than Season 1. Full disclaimer, I am a very casual Fallout fan. I played Fallout 4 when I used to work at GameStop years ago. I remember all the Fallouts, but something else would always come out at that time, so I couldn't jump on it. But Fallout 4 I did sink my teeth into. However, I do not know all the ins and outs, all the characters, all of the lore. So when it comes to being able to nitpick this show, I cannot. I just know I enjoy the show. I feel like it is a very well-written show. You can tell where the money goes. It looks very well. The CGI looks good. Everything looks lived in. The characters, the acting, the writing, the dialogue, all well delivered, all great. And I enjoy it. And I feel like the storyline, besides a few things which we'll get into, is pretty good, you know. And I know they, from what I'm told and what I've read and what I've watched, they do adapt some things from the game. And there's things that I remember from the game, like, oh yeah, I remember that from the game, and things like that. So there's cool. I know there's a ton of Easter eggs, like with the sniper dude at the very end of the season finale shooting, you know, the Death Claw. So I remember that from, I believe it was one of the commercials for the game. But I don't know, it's just stuff like that. I feel like I'll have to ask, you know, the fans that are diehard fans of this game, but I feel like they pay off and treat the fans and cater to the fans with certain Easter eggs and things like that. My buddy who runs Head Drop Productions, he has a really cool promotion out in Lansing, Zach. I want to talk to him. He's a huge Fallout fan, and I believe, Zach, I know you listen sometimes, and you'll sound off in the comments, so feel free to sound off in the comments. I believe the first time we talked about Season 1, he said it was okay, but that's because he knows the ins and outs, right? That's like me talking about Star Wars, how the characters and certain things go, and like aliens and shit like that. He knows the ins and outs. This guy's a big Fallout fan. So I can see why he may not like the TV show, right? Because they probably take a lot of liberties and they probably change a lot of things. So I do understand why fans that are like diehard fans would not like, you know, a TV show or movie when they're adapted. However, I do feel, at least from what I played, this is a very good adaptation of a video game, right? And a lot of people seem to like it. Although I have heard the viewership for Season 2 is lower than Season 1, which is a bummer because I really like this season. I love the characters, the main protagonists. You got Maximus, you got Ella Purnell as Lucy. I think those two are great. For a while there, I thought Maximus was going to get lost in the sauce and become maybe a dick and kind of, you know, drink up all the Kool-Aid that the Brotherhood was feeding them, and him and Lucy would end up at odds. I mean, they still could, but it seems like he really learned a lot this season, and he grew, and he was less annoying for me. And I kind of like how simple he is, and he's still a good dude, right? Like, he's trying his hardest to fight off the Death Claws at the end, and when his buddy, the Ghoul, saves him, what's that? Again, I forgot the guy's name. You know, I'm terrible with that shit. I forgot his name and I just watched it. But when he saves him, he goes, oh, thank God. You know, or thank you. I just thought that was really cool because he's not like this tough guy. He is a tough dude, but he's not like this badass tough guy. And even Lucy, you know, she's not like your typical girl boss. She has flaws where she's still very naive and she still wants to believe the good in people. And, you know, that kind of bites her in the ass this season. And the Ghoul, Walton Goggins, can we just stop for a second and appreciate how fucking awesome Walton Goggins is? No matter what he's in, he is great. From The Shield, Sons of Anarchy, Righteous Gemstones. He's fucking awesome, man. I love Walton Goggins, and his role as the Ghoul is my favorite. I know he's not the main character, but he's my favorite part of the show. Him and Dogmeat. Love Dogmeat. Don't ever want to see anything bad happen to Dogmeat, but I'm scared that it will. I thought it was cool that we got to see a super mutant. If you stayed after the credits, you got to see the Easter egg with the Alpha Mech, which I thought was really fucking cool. That's what I thought it was. I was like, ooh, this is pretty sweet. And he was like, Quintus the Uniter is dead. Quintus the Destroyer is born. I was like, okay, cool. I see where they're going with this. Then the Enclave. And of course, you got Clancy Brown. And I believe the super mutant who made a cameo in the one episode, I believe that was Ron Perlman, if I'm correct. So, I mean, they just have a lot of cool shit happening in this show. And I know they showed a lot of love to New Vegas. Of course, you have What's His Nuts on the screen. The house always wins. That fucker. So I thought that was cool. I like the touch at the end where he knew that his family was alive. He was like, man, you could see the actual happiness and relief in his heart that his wife had left the Colorado postcard. And I'm glad she kind of got redeemed, right? Because I was like, man, she seems like a straight up bitch, and she's gonna drop these bombs. When in reality, he fucked up giving the serum or whatever, the iridium. Was that what it was? The cold fusion. So I thought that was cool, and it kind of backfired on him. He's like, well, shit, I'm gonna take the blame for this. And then he goes to finally see his family, and of course they open it up and nothing happened, and they weren't there in the vaults, but then the postcard was, and he was just like, man, I know my family's alive after 200 years. How do you say it? After 200 years of being on this earth, I know that my family's alive. I just like, man, Walton Goggins, I love that fucking dude. He's such a good actor. He gets into everything. The one things I didn't like, I thought it's the wasteland. And I get it that they all went to Vegas, right? New Vegas. But Vegas is big, and Vegas it's huge, but like everybody runs into each other. So I was just like, yeah, I mean, it's the convenience of when, TV shows and movies always do this. We need this to happen so everybody meets back up. And like when the roaches got in that room and attacked everybody, I'm like, well, those roaches wouldn't be dead, so why would he open that door back up? And he opens the door, and apparently all the roaches were all of a sudden gone, even though they were locked in that room. And then that girl, at least that we know of, was the only one alive. I was like, after everyone was like eaten and mutilated, I was just like, really? Come on. Like stuff like that, it takes me out for a bit. It's like, really, this is what we're doing with that? There's other ways you could have had that character live where he didn't have to open the door, where obviously the roaches would still be there. So just small things, small little nitpicks like that, they just kind of take me out. That's how my brain works. I apologize. I can't help it sometimes. Just don't shut off. So when I see that, I'm instantly like, what? That doesn't make any fucking sense. But I get it. It's a world where mechs and all that shit. But still, I mean, come on. That still is just weird and odd to me. I think it's like Deus Ex Machina type stuff. I don't know how many seasons they plan on doing. I would hope maybe 3 or 4 at best. You can't really drag this out. And they have some heavy hitters like Kyle MacLachlan's in this. And, of course, like I said, Walton Goggins, Ella Purnell. I can't see her sticking around forever, right? Because their stock is also probably raising up. Although you get like the OGs like Kyle MacLachlan, Clancy Brown, and Ron Perlman, and of course, like I said, Walton Goggins. But Ella Purnell, she's still very young, so I can't see her wanting to do this forever. So just make it maybe 3 or 4 seasons and end it. Hopefully they will, because after a while, you're just going to be dragging this stuff out, and there's only so many mysteries you can do with shit like that. But I love this show, man. I look forward to it. I stop what I'm doing when I know that a new episode's out, and I watch it. And I just think it's well done. Like I said, I don't know the lore inside and out, so I can't nitpick that. I can't say, well, this character would never do that, or this is not how the Enclave would act, or the Death Claws would be way better than this. And so, I can't attest to that. I'm watching this one as a TV show, and I feel like it's a very well-written, well acted, well put together TV show, and I enjoy the fuck out of it. And I do feel like it captures the essence and the spirit of Fallout. So I have to, nothing but love for this show. Other than that, I can't wait for season 3. We're probably going to have to wait, another 2 years for it, which is kind of a bummer. Hopefully that goes by fast. And hopefully people were waiting for this to finish so they can binge watch it. And so the viewership goes up. But if that shit show known as Rings of Power can get multiple seasons, and I know that viewership's gone down, continues to drop over time, I really hope Fallout does, because I feel like Fallout is doing a service to the video game, and it's a very well done adaptation, which is, you don't see that a lot. A lot of times you see certain things adapted and they suck ass, and I feel like this is not one of them. This is fun. This is good. It's very well done, and I honestly enjoyed the shit out of this season. So, season 2. Fallout, what did you guys think? Did you watch it? Did you like it? If so, I highly recommend it. If you did, sound off in the comments. And if you are a big diehard Fallout fan, does it capture the essence? Does it pay really good tribute to the tone of the game, the characters, the factions, stuff like that, or is it just way off? Let me know. Did you like it? Did you dislike it? And I'm not going to disagree with you, because I understand. Trust me. If you've heard me rant on this channel, you totally know that I go hard in the paint on some things. But yeah, Fallout Season 2. I loved it. Can't wait for Season 3. Sound off in the comments.